Hey friend, welcome to the season 1 finale of the Highlight Your Healing podcast. I'm your host, Shannon Roan, grief coach and founder of J&J Journals. And today, we're wrapping up season 1 with a powerful reflection of everything we walked through together. This episode is your reminder of how far you've come, how deeply you've grown, and how much strength it takes to keep showing up for your healing, especially when you're tired, overwhelmed, or unsure. So let's start at the beginning. Our very first episode wasn't about the beginning in the traditional sense. It was about something even deeper. It was about naming your grief. Because healing doesn't begin when things feel better. Healing begins when you find the courage to say out loud, "This hurts, and I need to deal with it." Season 1 opened with the truth that grief comes in many forms. It can be the loss of a person, loss of a dream, the loss of identity, and even the loss of normalcy. We talked about how naming your grief is not weakness. It's clarity. It's honesty. And it's the moment you stop pretending you're okay and start acknowledging what's really happening inside. Naming your grief is the foundation, and without that, you can't process it. You can't release it. You can't move through it. And when you listen to that episode, you made a brave choice to finally call your grief what it is. And that was your beginning. Then we moved into triggers, the unexpected moments that bring grief right back to the surface. Not because you're failing, but because grief is layered. It could be a song, a smell, a memory, even a date on the calendar. It all brings up emotions your body remembers, even when your mind isn't thinking about it. You learn to stop judging yourself for being triggered, because being triggered doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're human. Then, in episode 3, we talked about releasing control and surrendering the parts of your healing that feels too heavy. We compared life to being on a plane. You can't see the pilot. You don't know what's happening in the cockpit, but you still trust the flight. Yet when it comes to your healing, trusting God feels harder. But we talked about how real faith looks like trusting even when you don't understand the route, or the timing, or the detours. Some of you shared how this episode helped you release control and breathe again. In episode 4, we named the hard things. Healing requires boundaries. Not just with people, but with your habits, your patterns, your triggers, and even your own expectations. You learn your peace is worth protecting. Not everyone deserves access to you. Saying no is part of healing. And boundaries don't make you selfish, they make you healthy. This episode gave you permission to say, I can't carry everyone in myself at the same time. And then the next episode, the in-between. This was the episode for the woman who feels stuck between the breakdown and the breakthrough. That weird, uncomfortable space where you're healing, but not yet fully healed. You learn that the middle isn't wasted time. It's where God does his quiet work. It's where you build strength. The in-between is the bridge, not the final stop. And in this bonus round, we'll call it Episode 6. We expanded the definition of grief. You learned that grief can also include losing your job, your identity, your routine, your stability, or even your confidence. This episode reminded so many women that their feelings were valid, and that grief isn't just death. It's any loss that changes your life. And in episode 7, we talked about what happens when you avoid your grief. Avoiding grief doesn't erase it. It hides. It builds up. It resurfaces in exhaustion, irritability, numbness, disconnection, or even burnout. We talked about how staying busy, avoiding memories, skipping songs, avoiding photos, it all feels easier, but it delays your healing. Avoiding your grief doesn't protect you. It just buries emotions that come out later in much bigger ways. And the next episode, Are You a Functional Griever? This resonated with so many women because functioning is what we're taught to do. We talked about the woman who is hurting but keeps on moving. The one who shows up for work, for family, for everyone else, but breaks down in private. This episode reminded you that functioning is survival, but healing requires intention. And we wrapped up the season with something powerful, the courage to speak your story. Not just because of what happened to you, but because of how far you've come. You learned that telling your story isn't about relieving pain. It's about reclaiming your voice, helping someone else feel seen, and reminding yourself of your strength. Your story isn't something to be ashamed of. Your story is something you're growing through. Season 1 wasn't about perfection. It wasn't about rushing healing. It wasn't about pretending to be fine. It was about naming what hurts, understanding your triggers, letting God lead, protecting your peace, navigating the in-between, honoring non-traditional grief, facing what you've been avoiding, recognizing functional grieving, and sharing your story with courage. Sis, look at everything you survived, everything you've learned, everything you've released, everything you've held on to. You didn't just listen to season 1, you lived through it. And I'm so proud of you. Thank you for being here, for showing up every week, for listening, crying, reflecting, and choosing healing on purpose. Season 2 is going to be even deeper, more intentional, and even more aligned. We're going to talk about identity, faith, rebuilding your life, emotional wellness, and the real work of becoming the healed version of yourself. And if today's final episode blessed you, leave a review. It helps another woman find this space. And join my Highlight Your Healing School community so you don't lose touch during the break. We're still healing, still growing, and still becoming. I'll see you in the new year, sis. And until then, keep highlighting your healing.